Travellers heading to parts of Southeast Asia have been issued with a fresh warning following the methanol poisonings. The Australian government's travel advisory website Smart Traveller has updated its guidelines, urging Australians to be cautious. For more, let's bring in travel journalist Belinda Jackson. Belinda, thanks for making time for us.
Thank you.
Firstly, could you just give us a bit of an idea of just how common methanol is in alcohol in some countries overseas?
It's, it is quite prevalent in Southeast Asian countries, but then again, in the Middle East as well. Russia, there was, in India, there have also been recent deaths due to this poisoning in alcohol. So it is something always to be aware of, definitely.
For those who are unfamiliar, what exactly is methanol and why is it used in alcoholic drinks?
Well, it's similar to ethanol. It's used to bulk up the alcohol. So it makes it a cheap addition. It's a lot cheaper. But then again, it can also occur naturally when you are distilling certain spirits as well. So we're talking about home brewing distilling operations. So if you're in a country where that alcohol is produced doesn't have the same regulations as, say, Australia, or people are bypassing those regulations, that's when you're going to get this sort of incident happening.
Methanol is a clear liquid. It could be almost impossible to know if it is in your drink. Are there ever any clues from the outside that people can keep an eye out for or should be aware of?
Yeah, it's really tricky for that reason. It is odorless, it's colourless, and you can just not pick it up if you think it has that same the same characteristics as alcohol without it. So just taking a smell of a drink, no, you're not going to pick it up like that. There are certain things to be aware of. What I've seen in various countries is often you'll find that the alcohol has been produced under a similar name. So, instead of Johnny Walker, you might have Johnny Walking, or, those sort of play on different names. So you'll find the labels are always a first clue on it. And another thing that happens often with people who are producing alcohol illegally is that they will reuse existing bottles. So if you have a bottle of a spirit that's a well-known spirit, then you find the label is damaged. That is always a really clear indicator that maybe that alcohol has been tampered with. But so these are tricky things to find out. I think a part of it is learned behaviour. We know now not to leave our drinks unattended when we're in clubs and bars, and the same is to be aware of how you're drinking. Can you see that drink being opened in front of you? I had a chat with the Thai consul, because of course Thailand is the neighbouring country to Laos, and they're going to have these. They've had quite a number of incidences in tourism hotspots, even this year as well. And they were saying, people always want to have those authentic experiences. They want to do what the locals do. It affects locals the same way as it affects foreigners as well. If that alcohol is tainted, it's going to have the same impact upon any human. So really, you have to be aware. Just don't drink spirits that you don't know the provenance of.
And Belinda, just finally, what is the advice for travellers if they do find themselves in a situation like this? Who do they contact and where do they go?
Well, the first point of contact usually is the hotel manager or the tour guide, that if you are on a tour as well. For emergency contacts in other countries, if you do go onto, as you said, the smarttraveller.gov.au website, they have listed all of the emergency phone numbers in the country that you're in. So if you go to Laos, then you look it up, then you'll find an emergency contact tab. And often they will have tourism police in there as well. They also suggest, of course, you ring your family back home. If you have a travel insurer, which is hopeful, they can often provide a source of support as well, either through repatriation, or often they can liaise quite closely with the medical team in the country that you're in to ensure that you're getting the best care, otherwise moving you to a different facility. And the other advice that I think is especially in such tragic situations that we've had now, is look after your mates. Make sure that you check on your mates when when you don't leave the bar without them, you don't leave the club without them, and you check them the next morning as well. Make sure that that you always stay together. I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice.
Belinda Jackson, thank you so much.
Thank you.